scores his first ever victory.
So damn proud of you.
William Byron is Xfinity Series champion.
William Byron wins his first career NASCAR Cup Series win.
55, baby.
Austin Cindric will win the NASCAR Xfinity Series championship. And at age 23, Austin Cindric has scored the Daytona 500 win.
I love you guys.
And who will be the next Xfinity Series champion that has great success on the Cup Series side? Names are made here as we get ready for practice and qualifying from Loudon, New Hampshire and New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Up in a beautiful New England afternoon as the cars are ready to make their way out onto the track. We'll give you the rules as to what they will be playing by for the next 90 minutes. 20-minute practice for all the cars. They'll all be able to go out there during that 20-minute session. There'll be a 10-minute break in between that practice and then single car qualifying. Each will go out one lap, and the fastest time wins the pole. Hello, everyone. Alongside Hall of Famer Dale Earnhardt Jr. and our crew chief Steve Letarte, Rick Allen with you. And we come to a 1 mile flat oval here, Steve. What do the Xfinity drivers have to fight when they come here?
Well, it's one of the most difficult racetracks we go to just to get a feel of the race car. Very flat, sweeping corners, multiple lanes, but they're kind of hard to identify. You kind of enter the middle, you can diamond it, you can roll around the bottom. There's a lot of different ways to get through these corners, Dale, but it seems like there's not a lot of feedback to the driver. There's kind of not a lot of load on the race car. It's almost no man's land as you make these corners.
Yeah, it can be kind of tough to find how to get the car to turn in the middle, and I think that's what these guys will be fighting all practice long and throughout the race, really trying to get the car to rotate down in the center of the corner on the brakes and then turn around and gas it up and go the other way. So it's a hard track to get a hold of, but when you hit on it, man, it can be a lot of fun because you can move around and run all kinds of lines through the corner. All
right, Junior, I know Junior Motorsports has been busy this week. William Byron is in a car. That means you guys have 5 cars out on the racetrack. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Everybody thin?
It spreads us a little thin trying to run 5 cars. We got a great group of people back there at the shop that build these things and get them ready, but at the racetrack, it'll be tough for Junior Motorsports with all of those cars out on the racetrack. A lot to focus on, but there's been good pace in the cars this year, and hopefully William can go out there and have some good speed as well.
Rick, he won't say it, but if you're going to be that fast with 4 cars, I'd bring a 5th too. I mean, they are so fast.
And
why not?
William Byron
Yeah,
in there.
exactly.
Yeah. So obviously it will be interesting to see how will Chevrolets do. Toyotas have been dominant here recently. Car's about ready to take off pit road here and start rolling around this beautiful racetrack here in New Hampshire, and we're going to be covering all sorts of stories during practice and qualifying. We'll start with Kim Kuhn.
Well, thanks, Rick. And the big story headed into New Hampshire Motor Speedway is the battle between JGR and JRM. Now, JRM has been dominant this season with 6 wins in 2022, but JGR has been dominant at this racetrack, winning the last 6 and having the most wins of any team here at 11. Now, last year, Justin Allgaier was able to finish 2nd here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, so I asked crew chief Jason Burdett, can they expect the same magic this weekend at the Magic Mile? And he said, you know, we're winless here as a team, as an organization, and we come here knowing we can have a good weekend possibly and perform well, but it's not necessarily expected. We don't expect to leave every lap. For some reason, this track has been a struggle for us as an organization, and we just can't dominate like we do at other tracks. So this team, JRM, looking for some magic here this weekend, while JGR looking to continue that streak and win a 7th straight win in the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at New Hampshire. Now, I'm on pit road. I've got a cohort down here. I'm not sure where he is, but he is a multi-time winner here at New Hampshire. Jeff Burton, where you at, Jeff?
Hey, Kim, I'm lost down here. I'm used to being up there in the booth, but I want to talk a little bit about this racetrack. This is a very demanding racetrack. It all starts right here. There's a massive bump getting into turn 3. You'll see the cars just bouncing through it as they hit it. Why is that important? Because it's right at the braking zone. You want to be hard on the brakes because if you think about it, we got a car in the wall already in turn 3, but if you think about it, when you hit that bump, you are forever away from the center of the corner. And if you can carry speed from that bump to the center of the corner, you hardly have to turn the car at all. You don't have to get the car turned until after the center, and then you got to rotate well. Tons of speed for drivers to get made up right here in this part of the racetrack.
That's the talented Jeff Burton right there that gave us that information as he's calling the action or telling us about turn 3. He's also calling the action of cars getting into the wall.
Yeah, the 13 car Akinori Ogata, he got close to the wall in 3-4 but didn't actually hit it, so just washed up the track a little bit.
Not surprising. Fastest lap, not your first lap. Low air pressures. We just saw some modified practice, so different rubber on the racetrack. This is a track that it takes a few laps for everything to kind of warm up and get to the spot you want it to be at, which makes qualifying later today even more difficult.
Yeah.
Because you only get one lap to do it.
There we see the 9 of Noah Gregson out on track. Noah already has been to victory lane twice this year. First at Phoenix, which is another fairly flat 1-mile track, and then about as opposite as you can get, the 2.66 mile high banked super speedway of Talladega. Is there a fastest car in the junior motorsports crew? I mean, can you say you have a favorite car?
Oh, look here. 47 car racetrack. See the Solid Rock Carrier sponsorship on that car. That's Bobby McCarty, 3-time Cars Tour champion in his first Xfinity Series start. So he's got no practices in this car, right? He's been racing late model stock cars for the past several years and is actually entering the turn for the first time in one of these, in one of these heavier stock cars. And I'll tell you, that's easy to do. The first time I ever got in an Xfinity car at Myrtle Beach, I'd had hundreds of laps there in a late model stock car, and I went into turn 1 and just about hit the wall because I lifted where I thought I should with my late model car. But you can't drive one of these things that deep into the corner. Bobby out there learning again, having some left front lockup with this car. He's just got to learn. He's got to back everything up. This car doesn't want to drive down in there as deep as he's used to with his late model stock car in the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. But excited for him. First start. Been working at this a long time. A lot of success at the short tracks. Got an opportunity here to shine.
Is it surprising that a guy gets his first start at 29 years old?
Well, I honestly think that, these drivers are going to make mistakes no matter what, right? If you're a young driver, no matter what car you're in, late model stock, super late model, Xfinity truck, you've got to learn and go through the process, right? And you're going to fail. And you're going to make mistakes. And I think when you get a guy like this that's honed his skills at the short tracks, you come to the racetrack and he's got good racecraft. He's already got that figured out. Now, he's got to learn how to drive this car, obviously. But when it comes to racecraft, out there making smart decisions, trying to keep the fenders on that thing, he already has that figured out.
And I think when you see someone like Josh Berry come and have success, Junior committed to him, put him in this car or the junior motorsports car, I think that gives other drivers like this gentleman an opportunity, right? Because now, as you mentioned, an older driver with that racecraft that Dale talked about. So then you start looking at those late model series and, well, who else is winning? Where's the other Josh Berry that someone isn't aware of? As I think we're on board with Josh Berry's ride right here, Tire Pros on the hood. This is a track. I know he only has one start here in the one car a year ago, but this just screams kind of Josh Berry-esque. You see off the gas, long rolling, late model stocks, no brakes, no gas, just roll. Let the car do what it does. Be very, very patient. I expect him to have a good day.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think if you're a young driver that's coming out of, supers or pro late models, thinking about what track you might want to make your first start on, this would be a great racetrack because it really does drive like a short track. It's a little larger than a half mile, but it drives like a short track. And a guy can come here and kind of apply the same sort of skill set that he's honed at the short tracks and do well here.
You do notice he's saying it drives like a short track.
I tried to drive that point home there.
It's not a short track in his mind.
Not a short track.
That's fine.
We can argue that all day.
We're going to argue it.
How about Joe Graff Jr.? Fourth quickest lap already.
Yeah, a great lap by Joe. 82 starts in the Xfinity Series, but only one here at New Hampshire. Best finish outside the top 20, so looking for an improvement on that. And top 5 on fastest lap. And no real surprise here. Ty Gibbs, top of the board. You mentioned not only the Toyota and the Joe Gibbs Racing success, but Ty Gibbs, where is he not fast? Speedways, yeah. Short tracks, road courses. I mean, he's fast all the time. And that Trevor Bayne 18, a variety of drivers drive that 18, but that's Joe Gibbs 1-2 currently for the fastest lap.
And Kim had talked about, really, this is going to be a great barometer as far as Joe Gibbs Racing versus Junior Motorsports, because it's all coming to a collision right here at this racetrack. Joe Gibbs Racing, historically great here. Junior Motorsports this year, great. So when you bring two organizations together and you only have this amount of real estate to fight it over, it should be a very interesting race between the two organizations.
I think it will be. I still feel like the Gibbs organization just has an upper hand here. They seem to be able to get their cars to rotate and also be able to throttle up and get off the corner really well.
Ooh.
And that's kind of been a tough part for us, Junior Motorsports, is to get through the middle of the corner. It's just a little tight there, trying to get the cars to turn. And so I'll be surprised, I think, if Junior Motorsports can compete with the Toyotas this weekend. But this Gibbs kid, like you said, Steve, he has been great everywhere. He has, you use the phrase shock the sport, but he's surprised, I think, everyone, even himself, at just how well he's able to run everywhere he goes. Even some of the more technical, tougher road courses, he shines. He runs as well as you would expect the equipment to run. It's definitely been pretty interesting to watch, to be honest with you. I don't think we've seen anybody get in these cars and run as well as Kyle Busch has till Ty.
Yeah, and 6 wins here for Kyle Busch at this racetrack in the Xfinity Series. But my question, I guess, would be, was the win at Road America maybe a career-defining up to this moment win when he was able to beat Kyle Larson?
He continues to just continue to up him. As you saw, he lose the little rear grip and corner entry. The reason I said that, he beat Cindric, he beat Allmendinger, and everybody was like, oh, this is the moment, this is the moment. Then he went to Road America and beat Kyle Larson, the Cup champ, without putting a fender on him. And I think he's been criticized for his aggressive driving. I think he had heard that. So he wanted to win how everyone else thinks he should drive. Yeah. And I don't know if he'll stay that way. I think he just kind of proved the point. It's like, see, I can do it how y'all want. Just let me be me.
I like the idea that he's willing to adjust and get and improve. He's not hard-headed, not going to stick to, one way. If he feels like he can be better somewhere, he's obviously listening to some of the criticism, or the advice that he's getting, even if it's in-house. He's made adjustments and gotten better throughout the year. Here's the 10 car, Landon Castle on the racetrack.
We've talked a lot about Joe Gibbs Racing, about Junior Motorsports. Well, Colleague Racing a year ago, they were the team that everyone was talking about in the successes. Landon Castle now behind the wheel of the 10. Kim.
And Colleague Racing also admitted to me this morning, this is a track where they've struggled. So when Landon hopped in the car, they got on the radio because spotter Freddie Kraft spotted for the modifieds earlier. The modifieds will race tomorrow after the Xfinity Series. So the team asked what lines the modified cars ran and how the track was, and they relayed that information to Landon. My question for you drivers is that helpful? Because the modifieds are very different. They run almost wide open here at New Hampshire. So is that kind of information from the spotter helpful before you hit practice?
Oh, yeah, I think it absolutely is. But, Landon has enough laps here, and there are some very particular things about this racetrack that you just got to be aware of in these cars. For whatever reason, the modifieds can cross the seams, Steve, and we see them go across the racetrack and turn and go back down across the seams, right? Well, these cars don't cross the seams well. They do, but not really well, and these tires sort of give up across that little crack in the racetrack. So there's some things that do work for the modifieds that don't work for the Xfinity cars, but some of that information can be helpful from the spotter.
See Landon Castle bringing it back to pit road. This is Trevor Bayne we're riding along with, and the number 18.
In bumps.
I was going to say that bump that Burton was talking about.
So there's something that just reminded me of, Rick, and we talked about it before the show. Where was the bump? I thought it was a little bit earlier up on the straightaway, but I remember now watching this in-car that bump is actually lengthened and gotten worse farther down deep into the corner. You're actually down into the corner, and the bump is continuing to affect the car, Steve. See right here, this first series is a bunch, boom, 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 right there. That used to be all there was, but now you have those additional ones down in the corner that have developed literally in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I wonder if the cars aren't actually generated, right? They come off that first set of bumps, they start oscillating, and they actually just, hammer on the pavement and continue to kind of make ripples down into the pavement. Just like, listen, we've all driven around your streets at home and you see the big ruts from like tractor trailers or dump trucks sitting on the asphalt. These cars will do it as well. I mean, 3,400 pounds with all the downforce as well, getting on the brakes, it will definitely damage the asphalt.
As a crew chief, how do you set a car up for that? I mean, you've got a car that you're trying to keep stuck to the asphalt, and yet now you've got asphalt that's moving up and down and making your car jump.
So the interesting part is you really You want to focus on them some, but you can't give up the rest of the racetrack. I can make a ride great over the bumps, but now down at this end of the racetrack, the splitters off the ground, my driver is going to be very frustrated with me, and that's part of the compromise of this racetrack is the driver has to help you a little bit. Your car has to be able to manage it somewhat, but you also have to have a driver that can help you some with the brake pedal.
You see the wrap kind of coming off of the side skirt there on the 18 car. He's got about twice as many laps on his tires as does Josh Berry, who just passed him on the racetrack, but it is one way to watch these guys and see the different lines you can run. So what I love about this racetrack is there's so many different ways to go around the corner, to exit the corner. One car can go in a little higher. One car can come off lower. You can get a little clean air on the nose if you really need to be able to get up underneath the guy and pass him. Not kind of forced into just one groove here.
Last year, rain stopped NASCAR and the track from putting a resin down, but I think a lot of people said it was great racing, so they decided not to put anything down on the racetrack this weekend for races because of that.
Yeah, they got a lot of feedback from the drivers about what they would prefer. NASCAR knows that having the drivers on board with anything is always a good thing. And so they leaned on the drivers a little bit there for that information, and I think it's a good choice, especially for the new next-gen car coming here for the first time. Let's not throw a new variable in that might skew things a little bit.
We're looking at the 48. Right behind him, a little bit loose there, but the 48 of Ty Dillon running the Xfinity Series race. He's doing double duty because he also runs the Cup race. And the big news about an hour ago from Ty Dillon and that camp, the team that he drives for on the Cup side, mentioned that they would not be together in 2023. So Ty Dillon and Petty GMS will be splitting after this season. And so that has opened the door for potentially a driver from the Xfinity Series to make its way up and a possible ride in the Cup Series next year.
Well, that's a busy week. Tyler Reddick announced that he'll be going to 2311 in 2024. Yeah, you heard me correctly. That's like 18 months out. So now the 42 in the Cup side, Ty Dillon behind the wheel of this 48 said, all right, well, we're separating for next year. So silly season happens every year, but we're starting to see it perhaps earlier and earlier.
And this could be a sign of where Ty ends up. This car right here has had different drivers in it throughout the season. They had that association with RCR. So you never know. Ty Dillon might enjoy stepping down to the Xfinity Series full-time in that 48 car. You might see that next year.
Jeb Burton currently 4th. I ran into him in the garage here earlier, had a nice long conversation, and he had talked about just how deep and difficult this Xfinity Series is. And I agree. Starting in Nashville, covering these races, I used to think 12, 13, 14 cars that kind of had a chance to run up front. He talked about there are 17 cars in the Xfinity garage that have some sort of Cup affiliation. Our Motorsports is not one of them. So that makes Brett Moffitt and Jeb Burton two drivers that in his mind, that's 18th and 19th on the technology chart. Now that doesn't mean that's where they're going to run. So he feels like anytime they can come run inside the top 15, it's a big step. And he was looking forward to this racetrack. As you mentioned it, Dale, as a driver, while aerodynamics matter everywhere, he feels like he can overcome it here. Versus you go to the big 2-mile racetrack, if the car doesn't have the grip, then there's nothing you can do. There's things Jeb Burton can do as a race car driver to kind of crutch an ill-handling race car.
And, of course, the name Burton, Jeff Burton, a part of our team, uncle to Jeb Burton. Jeff?
Yeah, Rick, you talk about Jeb Burton sitting there, sitting 4th fastest. Interested in his team owner, Chris Hours from Massachusetts. And his team raced modifieds here a long time ago. So this racetrack, think about it, it has a rich heritage with NASCAR, but it's also highlighted the modified series to a lot of people. And not only did he have people in his cars, he had Hall of Famer Mike Stefanik. He won his last 2 modified races driving for Chris Hours. So Chris Hours has been racing for a long time, and now he's running Xfinity Series and has 3 full-time cars this year.
Continue to see it. Chad Walter, the crew chief on that 27, a lot of Cup experience, some time at Junior Motorsports early in his career. And I'm starting to see that a little bit in the Saturday series, in this Xfinity Series. We see younger drivers. There's Chad right there. So some of the younger drivers, but then some of those veteran crew chiefs, guys that have made it to the Cup Series and worked at some of the big teams, and they find this opportunity at some of these smaller teams. It's really a great kind of matriculation. Gives a guy a chance to extend their careers inside the sport. I love that part. Brandon Brown turning in there in that 68 gold and black colored car. And this is what you're going to see. Look at this right here. Brandon Brown kind of in the middle. We'll call that lane 1. There's really, 3 lanes, but you use a combination of all 3 to make the corner.
Yeah, it's a fun place. When they put the sealer down years ago, that's where the asphalt's a little bit darker in some areas. That really made this a racy little track and showed us really all the opportunities and ways you could go around the corner. You're trying to chase that sealer around, trying to find the grip, and they still do it today. The modifieds will be way up the track in the corners. Let's go back down to Jeff.
Hey guys, I was walking down pit road and I ran into this guy, Justin Haley, down here watching Xfinity practice, trying to learn something for tomorrow. What are you looking for?
Just obviously supporting our college racing Xfinity teams. It's been so, I've actually learned a lot stepping back and sitting on AJ Allmendinger's pit box for the Xfinity races this year. So obviously I have AJ as a teammate tomorrow in the Cup car. So always down here supporting our cars, just seeing where the track's going to be. Obviously no traction compound this weekend, so just trying to get up to speed as quickly as possible.
I appreciate you stopping by. He's going down to turn 3 to look at that bump, Junior.
Yeah, there's a bump down into turn 3, and everybody knows about it. Everybody's worried about it, specifically on the Cup side because of the loads in the left rear and stuff. They're kind of concerned with tires there, having a tire issue, trying to run so little air pressure. If you run the air pressure down in these left side tires, even on this side on the Xfinity cars, Steve, I mean, 1 pound can be worth 1/10 of a second a lap, correct?
It is. That's why you see the issues, because it's so advantageous. It's not a, hey, what do you think it's worth something? No, it is. Write it down in bold, underline it. Less left rear air pressure is better, especially in the long run. And this is a track position racetrack, so you're going to have long runs. That's why you can almost see the sidewall wrinkle a little bit right there. But I'd love to see Justin Haley down there on pit road. We talk a lot about younger drivers and how they handle the pressures of the Cup Series. I like to see a guy staying engaged, right? He used to drive these Xfinity cars full time. I think he's doing a nice job on Sundays, quietly having a good rookie year. Maybe not rookie, but his first full-time, fully funded car. We'll call it that. He's driven other equipment, but here he is in a car that has all the makings, and him and AJ Allmendinger are going to compete tomorrow, so it's good to see him down there on pit road.
Yeah, when you talk about the guys out there, the drivers that do all the little things, that's the little things you're talking about. And Haley is one of those guys. He's willing to do that extra homework. It's not necessary. No one would be surprised if they didn't see him down there. But the fact that he's making that extra effort, and that's what you want to see out of these guys. It's what you want to see out of the young drivers in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series, putting in some of the extra work that maybe you wouldn't even think about doing to try to gain an advantage.
And people see it.
Yes, they do.
When we're looking out the window at the Cup garage, right? We see AJ Allmendinger had this great Cup career. Now he's full-time Xfinity. When you think of the decision makers in the Cup garage, not the owners, but the presidents, general managers, head of competition, they know what drivers are plugged in and what drivers aren't. So,
and those are the people that influence the owners to hire the drivers.
Yeah, that's right.
The guys like Chak and House and stuff. If you want to impress somebody, those are the people you're trying to aim for. Make sure you're out there and making yourself visible.
Just like that, Rick, it's over.
A quick 20 minutes. The red and black flags displayed. And so the teams will come in, cool the cars off, get them ready for qualifying. We'll be back with more from New Hampshire Motor Speedway after this. Tomorrow, everything starts off on the NBC Sports app. Cup Series practice and qualifying at 11:30. And then it's USA. Cup Series practice and qualifying from noon on. Countdown to green at 2 o'clock. Xfinity Series racing at 2:30. Again on USA. Make sure to join us there. The fastest in practice for that first 20 minutes that they were on track. Ty Gibbs is with Kim.
Yeah, and Ty Gibbs down here breaking down those laps during practice with his team. You get 1 lap here with qualifying, though. Can you hold the speed we saw in practice?
I think we'll be pretty good. I wish we could start from the back and win some more money. I think that'd be pretty cool, but it's part of it, and I think we'll have a good shot. Hopefully, I'll qualify good. I don't know. I've been kind of hit and miss on qualifying this year, but I feel like we'll have a good shot here. I feel like the line doesn't change too much, so hopefully we'll be pretty good. We have a very fast Heat Gets Us Monster Energy Toyota GR Supra, and we'll see what we can do. And
you have an East win here. Not only that, you're with the team who won 3 straight with Christopher Bell in the 54. Does that motivate you? Does that add confidence, or does it add a little pressure to continue the streak for this car?
Yeah, it depends. I feel like I've made mistakes where it hasn't helped us win this year. But Christopher's been awesome in this car, and in the last couple of years, he's won eight or so wins a year. So, I'm just trying to look up to him and trying to be like him. And I feel like he's a great example and is a great driver. So hopefully we can go out here and do what we can.
All right, Ty Gibbs, top of the board in practice, looking to continue that streak for the 54 car in victory lane here at the Magic Mile. Jeff?
Hey guys, y'all know I love super late model racing, and I've watched this dude win a ton of races. Derek Griffin from nearby. Heck, this state, what am I talking about? You're from this state in this Xfinity car this weekend. How's it feel?
It feels amazing, man. I'm living on cloud 9 right now. I never thought I'd be here. I never thought I got the opportunity to especially do it at home. I've been coming here for a long time, watching on the backstretch, and man, it's surreal.
We talked about how difficult it is to go from a late model to an Xfinity car, limited practice. What are you having to work on the most?
Man, just being confident and being comfortable. You know, I'm showing up to these racetracks I've never seen before and trying to get comfortable, and it's been so tough. So I come back home, got a lot of laps here, helped out a lot, man. We're top 10 on the board. I can't thank Sam Hunt and the rest of the guys enough, man. This is, like I said, cloud 9.
Good job, man. Hey, I've never seen confidence be a problem for you. Good job.
Hudson, New Hampshire. That's 42 miles south of here. That's where Derek Griffith is from. As we take a look at the results of that practice session, Ty Gibbs, of course, topping the charts here. Trevor Bain, another Joe Gibbs Racing driver up there. They are 1 and 2, but then you look right in third. William Byron, the Cup driver, comes to the Xfinity Series and already very quick.
William has the best 5, 10, and 15 lap average out there, so make some good use of his rare opportunities in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, and you know, this 20-minute practice is very difficult because most drivers are out here making multiple laps in race trim. So this is as fast as I went for a singular lap, but as you mentioned, the averages tell a different story. Then we have JRM right there, 14th, 15th, and 16th. We'll see if they find a little something here in qualifying. Austin Hill, last week's winner in 24th. Great race he drove down in Atlanta, so much fun.
Sheldon Creed, one of the Rookie of the Year contenders, just a little bit further down the list. Mason Massey, the 91, 31st.
Important to point out, 39 cars. Only 38 will start the race tomorrow. So in qualifying here in a little bit, one driver, unfortunately, will make a long tow all the way to New Hampshire to not be able to take part in the race.
And again, qualifying coming up next right here on USA. Stay with us. William Byron will be the first car to roll out onto the track for qualifying. Again, it's 1 lap, 4 time, and we will set the field of 38 cars. 1 will go home. And William Byron, what about momentum? If a guy wins the Slinger Nationals, does that give him momentum when he comes to the Magic Mile?
Well, I think momentum exists. He won the truck race at Martinsville and then went on to win the Cup race. So, sure, Slinger Nationals is not, you know, that's not just any race. I mean, that's a pretty big late model event. So, for sure, it's going to help a guy. 1 lap, though, Dale. This is stressful. This is an easy racetrack to blow a corner and make a mistake.
This is, for me, one of the hardest racetracks to qualify at because of how many ways you can go through the corner. It's just real easy to overdrive the car, slip on one of these seams. All sorts of things can make the lap imperfect. And so trying to be consistent and quick here for me was tough in my career. But
what about a Cup car that has enormous brakes compared to an Xfinity car with not as good of brakes?
Well, he's not had a chance to really get acclimated to the Cup car here, so that, you know, I think going from this car to the Cup car would probably be the toughest challenge. He's going to have to make a couple adjustments, but 30-19.
I'm actually a little surprised by that. 30-16 is what Ty Gibbs ran in practice. I thought we would have seen a little faster lap there.
I was on board with you. We were having the conversation in break. I thought, you know, 29.90, 29.80 something was definitely out there. So, but, you know, to your point, Dale, just get it in the show. Run a nice solid lap.
I'm sure if he when he comes in, if we can talk to him, he's going to say, "Oh man, I messed this up. I messed that up."
Right.
There's no perfect lap here, Kim.
And you guys were noting the differences between the Cup car and the Xfinity, and that's what William was telling his team during practice. He said you have to be pointed off the corner straighter or you shear the rear tires off. And then in terms of the brakes, he said, I have to get used to the brakes here. He said they feel soft, almost like they did at Martinsville. So definitely some adapting William Byron has to do in that 88 this weekend in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Here's Bobby McCarty in the Autos by Nelson Solid Rock Chevrolet. A Mike Harmon Racing entry.
Bobby is 3-time champion in the Cars Tour Series in late model stocks. Late model stocks, kind of like a pro late model, super late model, but a perimeter chassis, and he's had a lot of success and raced that for years. 31.67, he won't be happy with that lap. just a little quicker than he practiced, but he was 38 in practice out of 39 cars.
Jeff.
Hey, guys, I'm standing here with Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon, an announcement today. Tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, myself and Petty GMS are going to go separate ways at the end of this year. First of all, I want to thank Maury Gallagher and Richard Petty for giving me the opportunity this year. You hate for a relationship to end so soon, not even kind of halfway into your first season together. But I'm not going to waste my time just thinking about the things that could have happened. I'm excited for my future. I see this as a bridge to what's next. It might not be today, it might not be next month, this year, but I will win races in the Cup Series. I will win championships, and you're going to put a straight jacket on me and tie me down to keep me from working hard to accomplish that dream. And I know in my heart that I can do it. The next opportunity is going to be right around the corner, and I'm going to work hard, starting with today. I got to thank Scott Borchetta and Big Machine Racing for giving me a chance in the Xfinity Series again, just to go prove and show people what I can do, what I know I can do. And it's a great team, and I'm going to go put them up front and try to get their second win.
Well, obviously you got half a year left in the Cup car, but does running the Xfinity Series or Truck Series or other series help you showcase your talent for the next ride, next opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. I did a lot of things in my younger years in the Xfinity Series, Truck Series to get where I got in Cup, and I think it's time to show people again, that I can win just like anybody else. It's been a tough road the last 5 or 6 years. I'm grinding hard, I'm working hard, and I'll never give up on my dream.
All right, buddy. Appreciate your confidence. Have a good day.
We just saw Josh Williams. He actually posted the second fastest time now at 31:12.
And that's just a little slower than he practiced, Steve. It's just so hard to be able to get up to speed for qualifying. Typically, the second lap would be the quickest lap. Working these tires in and trying to get these tires to grip this racetrack right away. Being able to drive it in the corner and trust that it's going to be there, not slip. You'll slip a front or slip a rear tire and the lap's killed.
Well, the risk versus reward, right? If you do slip that tire, you mentioned it's going to kill your lap. You're going to go, oh boy. That right there was.
Ogata caught that one as he was coming out of turn 2. May have just barely brushed the wall. Pretty impressive save, but that's definitely going to hurt this lap.
Motor Mouse, you see, Monday and Wednesday, 6 o'clock. We're going to catch up on all the action. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot to talk about, not just on the track, but off the track. We have the Reddick news. We had now Ty Dillon news. We got news for news when it comes to drivers.
Take another look at what happened here. Coming off of 2.
Looks like he might have brushed it just a little bit. It might have saved him from spinning out entirely. Yep.
The 48-year-old out of Japan saves it. But right now his lap, the 4th fastest of the 4 that have been on the track, 32:21 for Akinori.
Barely any damage. Car's just fine. It's quite the combo.
They're trying to push off the next car in line down there at the end of the road, having a little trouble firing up the 44 car here.
That's Howie DiSavino, the 3rd out onto the racetrack now. 21-year-old from Chesterfield, Virginia.
Began racing at age 13, moved into the late model stock series or late models at 15 years old. Ran at Martinsville earlier this year in his only start.
Chesterfield, Denny Hamlin's hometown.
Yes,
race car driver out of the same town.
Do you think this kid looked up and saw what Denny Hamlin was able to do and thought, I want to try to go that same career path? Yellow stripe on the bumper indicating rookie status.
You can just see how low the grip is. All of these guys, they're kind of dancing right on the edge of control. The car moves around a whole lot. And you can physically see like the left front tire working. You see at the bottom of your screen, William Byron has already made his lap, talking to some Junior Motorsports teammates there, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry.
And one of the things that you saw William do coming to the green, down the back straightaway, he wiggled the car really, really hard, as getting as much friction in the tire to the surface of the racetrack as he possibly could going down the back straightaway before he got around to the green flag. And doing things like that, there's some little things you can do to try to really kick-start the grip in those tires and really get them to come in quick as possible.
This is Julia Landauer, the 30-year-old from New York. out on track now. Part of the 2016 NASCAR Next class. And had a pretty decent lap going up there until she entered turn 3. Lost quite a bit of speed, though. Third fastest, 31:43 for Julia. Might recognize her. She was a part of the season 26 of Survivor. Actually catapulted her into a little bit of stardom there. Became 2017 Forbes magazine 30 under 30 for sports. Kim.
And standing here with Trevor Bayne, who is hopping in the 18 for the weekend, and you ran over and said, let me see your screen. What are you hoping to learn watching these other drivers make their lap?
Man, it's not fun to be like 10 cars from qualifying and not really know which lane you're going to run yet. We're over here talking about it with New Hampshire Motor Speedway choosing not to apply PJ1 or the compound this weekend. We're all kind of searching around trying to figure out where to run, and I didn't feel like 15 minutes of practice really showed me that. So everybody you talk to has got a different plan of action, so you almost just have to commit to it, go out, hit your marks, and make it happen. But I love this racetrack. It's so much fun. And to be doing it with Jason Ratcliffe, probably got more wins here than anybody. It's a really good day, so thankful to be here.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Trevor mentioned Jason Ratcliffe. Jason has 6 wins here at the Magic Mile with 3 different drivers. So Trevor hoping to be that 4th different driver for Jason here this weekend.
This is the Jesse Wuji Racing, number 34, Kyle Weatherman behind the wheel. We have seen where Kyle actually qualifies the car, and then we'll see Jesse Wuji get behind the wheel. I'm not sure if that's going to happen this weekend or not. But Kyle Weatherman puts the lap together, and it's second fastest, 30.58 for Weatherman. Qualifying continuing here from the Magic Mile. Noah Gregson will be out there. Plenty of action coming up on USA. 9 of the next 11 Cup races will be on USA. Again, reminder of pre- and post-race shows also on USA. On the Xfinity side, 10 of the next 11 Xfinity races are right here on USA. So make sure to keep it right here for all of the NASCAR action. As qualifying continuing from the Magic Mile. Now out on the racetrack, Patrick Emmerling, who has been on the racetrack earlier today. He was out practicing his modified here at New Hampshire as well.
He's got a lot of laps here. And those guys always seem to show up and shine. We get some modified racers here that compete in the Xfinity Series, and it's fun to see them do that. We know what this car is capable of, watching it week in and week out. And the modified guys will hop in these cars and really have good runs. So expecting good big things from Patrick tomorrow.
I'm sure off the gas for a long time compared to what he feels like in the modified car. Going through the turns as he turns that lap, and that will put him 3rd fastest on the list and the fastest Toyota up to this point. Kim.
Myatt Snyder finished last year's Xfinity Series race in the 7th position. So what did you learn last year that might help here this weekend, specifically qualifying-wise?
Well, you just have to fire off this race free. So this place just changes so much as you go on throughout a run. But, luckily we've got a good Lucas Oil Bommarito Autosport Camaro today. So I feel really good about things. Just got to make the right adjustments for qualifying, and hopefully we have cars as fast as Xfinity Internet. But feel good, and it's also my dad's birthday, so I'm trying to get a nice little present for him.
There you have it. Big happy birthday to our teammate Marty Snyder. Myatt Snyder about to hop in the car for qualifying, Jeff.
Yeah, it's crazy. Marty looks so good to be 68. He's a good guy, too. We talked about drivers being down here checking out what was going on. Well, it happens for crew chiefs also. Rudy Fugel, William Byron's crew chief. You were on Motor Mouse this week, did an incredible job of breaking this racetrack down. Tell me what you and William are doing here.
Yeah, no, I mean, William's getting some great experience getting laps. This is a way different place than we go to, like we talked about. It's, different braking, really flat. So just the opportunity to get laps before we go on track tomorrow is going to make him really good. And then I'm just observing, so this Junior Motorsports guys do a really good job. They got some really, really good crew, some legends. Got Lisa Smokestad, she's a tire lady legend. So I just watch, observe, try to learn all I can, and just try to be better for Saturday, So track position is so big.
here every week, and then this car especially. So anything we can do to learn and get better is going to make us better.
I've known you for a long time, and you're a hard worker, so I know you're not just here watching. I know better than that. But you and William won here in the Truck Series several years ago. What do you think is the most important part of this racetrack as far as getting your car to do something?
Yeah, no, I really think, it's two things. It's really being able to enter the corner with a lot of speed and then exit with enough throttle and not having to worry about slip the tires. So it's slipping the tires on entry and slipping the tires on exit. And everybody, the easiest thing to do is I want to turn the center, but you got to do the other two things first. And the center can't be terrible, but it's really hard to get that entry speed where you need to, over the bumps and brake where you need to, and then turn back down the hill underneath somebody. And so those are the two things we'll be looking for, is that lateral grip on entry and exit.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you joining us.
He makes that sound like so easy to get all that right, Steve.
I'm telling you. I do, what he is saying, though, is, drivers are going to complain about it not changing direction in the middle. And what I'm hearing from him is, well, he's not going to ignore that. He's willing to give that up if William can drive the car in and off like he hopes that it should handle. And this is a big effort by Hendrick Motorsports to get their drivers time. We saw Kyle Larson at Road America. We see William here. We've seen William in a truck. Mm-hmm. I think there's some plans for all of the drivers to run some more Xfinity Series races. So, a big effort as we see Ryan Vargas finishing his lap. Big effort to just get more laps. And it's what he said. He didn't say to be better for Sunday. It wasn't a misspeak. Right. He said he wants to be better for Saturday. His point is, in tomorrow's 20-minute practice that William has, they need to start closer. They need to be able to just attack quicker.
This team right here, this 26 car, this is a really interesting program. Sam Hunt and his guys have some really awesome social media content. They have a lot of different drivers that get in and out of this car, but we see this car continue to improve, continue to compete, show up to the racetrack. A little loose right there for Griffith. But they show up to the track, and they are actually getting better and better, growing quickly as a team, one to keep an eye on in the Xfinity Series here in the future.
And Hudson Speedway Toyota on the hood, so we're going to give him a little credit since that's hometown of the driver.
Third quickest. He's a Kowicki developmental driver.
He had a big moment in 3 and 4 he'll regret, but still a reasonable lap. But he knows he has more pace, top 10 speed in practice. Massey out on the racetrack now in the 91.
Oh, big rear grip. Lack of rear grip, yeah.
One end is definitely going to slide.
That's right.
I'm promising you that.
And if it doesn't, then you've underdriven it.
Yeah. I could never hit it right in the middle. I was either underdriving it or overdriving it.
Mason doesn't start every race in the Xfinity Series, but over a handful already this season. And looks like he'll be 8th quickest on this lap. Take a look at that, though.
Yeah, just a little wiggle. You can see the different cambers in the different lanes, the flatter bottom groove. When you put the left front on that flatter bottom groove, it helps the car turn. Sometimes it can shear the rear tire, make the rear tire slip right out from under you. David Starr out on the racetrack. This is a scheme that I really enjoyed looking at from the booth. This car has some
what was the scheme?
Yeah,
what was it? Brad Keselowski maybe drove one of your cars that looked like this one time, kind of the black, orange, and white.
I thought it was kind of like Kevin Harvick's Freaky Fast paint schemes.
Okay.
Okay.
But
I'm going to find that one. I know the one. I can't remember which sponsor it was.
This is a good-looking race car. I like these colors and everything going on here.
David Starr was a Truck Series regular for over a decade. Now has made his home the Xfinity Series as we see the 48. Talked quite a bit about Ty Dillon and the announcement that he will no longer be running in the Cup Series for the 42 team of Petty GMS in 2023. He could be with another team. We're not sure where he's going to go, but they said that they're going to part ways at the end of this season.
I could be completely wrong, but I bet it's this car next year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why does Sunday news matter for an Xfinity race? And this is why, right? Because we know he doesn't have a ride, right? So this could be an audition for this team, another team in this series, out of this series. Every time he's in a race car for the rest of this year, his performance is even more important now because what will it lead to?
Second quick for Ty Dillon. Now Brandon Brown on the clock.
It's a team I think was hoping to have a better year, right? A lot of work in the offseason trying to raise the funding to be as successful, to follow up on that win a year ago at Talladega, but currently 15th in the point standings, almost 100 points below the cut line. They have to be thinking it's going to take a win to make it into the playoffs.
Look at that left front tire trying to lock up a little bit. He got everything out of that. Really good job down in the corner. I think this is a great little race car driver, but man, they have struggled to be able to compete in this series. Very small team.
Yeah, 9 employees, they told me when I was in the garage today. That's not many.
It's competing against the big teams, and they're trying to get everything they can out of it. Alex Labbe now on track, and Alex might even call this his home track. He's actually from St. Albert, Quebec, Canada, which is 3 hours, 30 minutes north of here, about 185 miles. But this is probably the closest track to Alex in the U.S.
I'm getting out my map to check it.
It's almost directly north of us right now. Alex, youngest ever champion of the Quebec ACT Tour in 2014. And about 0.8 of a second slower than what we've seen out of William Byron. So that will put Labbe 8th right now at a 31.04.
Next car on the track, Sam Mayer. Ran a 30.49 in practice. That was 6th quickest, but he'll have to pick it up quite a bit to be able to match Byron's speed. It's already about 1.5 tenths off, but gaining on this exit.
Will he get into the green?
Little wiggle there, hurt him.
Stays just outside. The 19-year-old out of Wisconsin, as he's coming out of 4. And that'll be second fastest out of Sam Mayer, 30.35.
Let's see this moment that he has. Little slip right there. Little slip there. Not massive, but you can see how something just so small, that was a 10th. Right?
Well, you saw the rubber, too, where the back tires were spinning.
Oh, Trevor Bayne was talking about what lane he was going to run, but I don't all of them. I was going to say he entered on the bottom, crossed the middle, and turned in the 3rd lane.
Look at this
does it again here.
Got it. He's tracked pretty well.
Same thing. Enters about the middle here. Goes up to that 3rd lane.
Gonna have to gain quite a bit. He's coming back pretty quickly. Look at this lap, guys.
Great drive off the corner from that 3rd lane.
Whole 10th faster.
And Trevor Bayne is fastest now at New Hampshire.
So Trevor went out there and picked up a couple tenths, run a 30.24 in practice. He's now state claim to the fastest lap. Ty Gibbs, who ran a 30.16, will have to go out there and improve as well to be able to beat his teammate.
And right now he's thinking, man, I hope they didn't show that from the in-car because I didn't want everyone to see the lane I ran.
And look at this. Myatt Snyder right away in the green entering turn 1.
Unfortunately, green entering is usually hard to maintain. We watched, Bayne was kind of red getting into the corner and then came back on exit. We'll see again right here. Big overcook into the corner. This is going to cost Myatt a lot of speed.
Myatt just really trying to put a good lap together. Overdoing it a little bit on entry. Easy to do, but he'll want that one back.
So Myatt Snyder slotted 9th so far of the 22 that have been out onto the racetrack. And now it's Ty Gibbs' turn on the clock. He was fastest in practice. Can he back it up? Maybe turn a little bit faster lap here on this qualifying run. He's got to be 30.07.
I think this is going to be a pretty impressive lap. Oh, maintains okay. Trevor, his teammate, was so good on corner exit off 4. Let's see if the 54 can find that same grip on corner exit.
Oh, it's close. Is he going to get it?
Yeah.
He stays in the green. Sure enough, Ty Gibbs, 30.042. So 3/100ths of a second faster.
And while I just want to say, while we celebrate Ty, what a great lap he ran, I think it really shows the pace that Bain has, having not been in this series much, having not raced here in, 3 years. Guy comes to this racetrack, shows up, 20 minutes of practice, and he's right there near the top of the sheet.
Jeff.
Yeah, the other thing that was interesting about that is how they did it in 2 different styles. Guys, we'll give you a break for just a few minutes up there. Kilman and I are down here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna spend a few minutes on pit road trying to visit as many people as we can, see if we can annoy as many people as possible.
That's right. We were going to get Brandon Jones. He just got in the car. He was our winner at Martinsville. A lot of people say, you know, Martinsville, a flat track. New Hampshire, a flat track, runs for JGR, also a team that we know can get it done here. So we're going to keep on keeping on down the grid. You see, again, Brandon Jones getting ready for his qualifying lap. I'm going to slide down here. Noah Gregson is going to climb aboard his. Jeff, who you got?
I got Daniel Hemrick, man. You're strapped in. What's on your mind right now?
Trying to figure out how to piece a lap together with this AG1 Camaro. We got a little bit of work to do before we can make it as fast as Xfinity Internet, but I tell you, Jeff, I need to be asking you for pointers to get around this place. You seem to do a pretty good job of it back in the day.
Drive it in really deep and see what happens.
They both had a smile on their face.
Well, he just swung the leg over the side door, climbing in. AJ Allmendinger. AJ, what do you have for this lap?
Yeah, it wasn't a good practice. We're a bit off. This is a racetrack last year that wasn't our best racetrack, so everybody at College Racing, we've worked hard to try to come up with something new. So there's some positives and some negatives to that, but you know, the action industry Chevy, go out there, see what kind of lap we can get, and get everything we can tomorrow.
AJ Allmendinger, you know when AJ puts the serious voice on that it is serious stuff, Jeff.
My man, Justin Allgaier, he's down here getting a close-up view as cars coming by. What are you looking for?
I'm just looking at lines. You know, I think one of the biggest things that's really important here in New Hampshire is getting straight off the corner and getting the power down. Just trying to see what trajectory some of these guys are running, and then looking into turn 1 and see what they're running. So our brand professional agriculture Camaro was okay in practice. We needed a little bit, but you know, qualifying is a completely different animal here. And I think sometimes to race good, you may not qualify that well.
You're a better man than me if you can stand right here and not try to drive deeper in the corner than everybody else. That's always got me in trouble.
Yeah, so I'm looking right here at the signs, and you know, the sound always travels differently when you're watching it from out here than in there. So I'm not sure that I want to drive it as deep as a few of these guys, but I got a pretty good reference marker picked out for qualifying. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you, buddy. Have fun.
Do you ever look at those? You look at the signs, Junior?
No, but he makes an interesting point about the sound. Sometimes you'll go to racetracks and the let-off point will be so far away it's that, you know, you're not getting a true understanding of exactly when that driver lifted. And so don't pay attention to that every time.
So listen, I'm going to tell you a story about braking marks. We were in a debrief one time, as we see right here, Jeb Burton in the 27. I think he gets just a little high on exit. Yeah, and then got to put wheel in it at some point. So we're in a debrief. It might have been here. I can't remember where, and it was Dale Jr., Jimmy, Jeff, all the Hendrick group. And, you know, Jeff was adamant he was lifting it like the 3.5. And then Jimmy was trying to figure if that 3.5 was like 3.5 closer to the 4, 3.5, or 3.5 like a half past a 3. And then my buddy Dale Jr. to my right was like, nah, it was a mark in the pavement that he looks at. And it basically proved that they put these signs up, and between all 4 drivers, none of them looking at the same. So it was mind-blowing for a crew chief. I mean, I'm picking on you, but to your point that day, it taught me that you guys do it all different. You either feel it, see it, it's in the track. Some look at the braking markers. It's very different.
Just saw Sheldon Creed finish his lap. He's 8th quickest. Austin Hill, the most recent winner. He's strapping into the car. He'll qualify next. On Sunday, it's Countdown to Green on USA and Cup Series racing from right here at the Magic Mile at 3 o'clock. And I want to remind you that on Peacock, also 3 o'clock, is the NTT IndyCar Racing from Toronto. Both flags represented right there at the racetrack here as well. So it's going to be a busy day on Sunday as Anthony Alfredo about to get on the track and get on the clock.
Anthony is 13th in points, so he's 80 points behind Landon Castle on the cutoff for the playoffs. Gained 8 points on Landon last week. He'd like to gain a little bit more this weekend. Try to put himself into position to try to make the playoffs. This 23 team, his first year with this group.
A New Englander. He's from Connecticut.
Ran in the Cup Series last year. I think it might have been too big of a step for him, but he certainly learned a lot. And I always feel like when you go drive a Cup car and then step back into the Xfinity car, you feel like you can really hustle this thing. Because nothing's more difficult or powerful or handful than the Cup car. And even though it might have been a quick step and he had to relegate back to this series, I think it's made him a better driver.
Stays within a half a second of what Ty Gibbs was able to put up. That has him 7th quickest on the chart. So we see Landon Castle from Colleague Racing coming out on track.
And that's been frustrating to watch. I know a lot of people were excited about Landon getting this opportunity this year in this car, but Colleagues struggled somewhat. We've mentioned that earlier on the show. They're struggling here this weekend for pace. Nothing says they can't find the pace and speed they need to get to where they were last year, but this was a year that Landon was really looking forward to having shots at winning races. Just hasn't really materialized yet.
Great lap so far. I got a great 1 and 2. We'll see if he'll be able to carry it off turn 4, losing a little bit of time.
One of the best qualifiers in the sport right there.
Well, interesting enough, he's only won 1 pole in the Xfinity Series, and it came here.
Oh.
It was at this racetrack, but it was in 2008. So almost 14 years ago when Landon was on pole. But now a great lap. He was within 2/1000th of a second of what Ty Gibbs was able to run.
He can do some cool things in qualifying. I've seen him jump in Morgan Shepherd's car and put that thing in the top 15 and top 10, I think, at Vegas one year, and that car just could not believe it. It was like I told him they ought to put that in the Hall of Fame. It was a heck of an effort.
Here's Riley Herbst still looking for that elusive first win in the Xfinity Series. Has a couple second place finishes already, and Herbst is 7th fastest on his qualifying run. Second fastest Ford behind Ryan Sieg up to this point is Daniel Hemrick, the reigning Xfinity Series champion, now is on the clock.
See if he can match what his teammate Castle did out on the racetrack. Back to the throttle. Not a bad lap either here. Colleague showing some great pace here in qualifying. Did not have speed in practice. They weren't up on the board.
A little cloud cover maybe helping out these guys coming a little bit later on the track.
I can't really say that. This track is very temperature sensitive, Steve. I just think these cars are really hooked up, making some good speed.
Yeah, this right here is going to
great lap.
Easily eclipse Gibbs for the top. I'd like to know where they battle in race trim because I'm betting it's tight. I'm betting their car doesn't turn as well as they want in race trim. I say that because most of the cars in qualifying get loose when you add tape to the grills, so maybe they have that fire-off speed, which, look, you know, it's easy to say you don't like your car in race trim, but this could come down to a shootout, restarts, anything, track position. So, good lap. Here's another Joe Gibbs entry right here, the 19 of Jones.
But you talked about it, Steve. If you gain all that time on entry, you usually pay for it on corner exit. Burton.
Hey guys, just one thing to note is that there was tons of shade on the track those last 2 cars that went out. Big cloud came over, track cooled down. Have to wonder how much of an impact that had on those 2 laps you just saw get laid down.
Rick was selling it.
Yeah.
I like
Junior wasn't buying it, but I was selling it.
You know what, Rick? It depends if you think it's worth something if you did or didn't have the cloud. That's what I've determined in my career.
Here's Noah Gregson.
He always puts a little bit of a show on qualifying. Let's see what he would do. I like the pretty controlled entry, to be honest. Didn't use up a lot of racetrack. I like the tidy corner. Oh, I like this lap. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Lost a little bit on exit.
It was nice and tidy and in control, even if it's not the then the opposite at this end. Big correction up the track. Maybe he thought 1 and 2 was too tidy. Didn't get enough and said, I got to drive a little deeper into 3.
I underdrove it down here, so let me go a little deeper in this next corner. That's, every driver goes through that.
6th quickest for Gregson as we get ready to see Allmendinger. He said he didn't like practice, didn't think that they did a very good job, was hoping that they could be a little better in qualifying. We'll see if whatever they made adjustment-wise works for them. See Daniel
to the gas
Landon
early.
Talking.
You can hear him getting the throttle, and it's way early in the corner. Maybe it's too soon into the throttle. He kind of had to come back off a little bit. It cost him down the back straightaway, but he still got a shot at this.
See that left front tire working, chasing the car a little bit. I think it's going to hurt on power down.
Through the center, he was close. And it'll be 5th quickest for A.J. Allmendinger.
Just a few more Chevrolets to miss for Hemrick, Allgaier, Hill, and then Josh Berry. So, you want to sit on the pole. You want to be the fastest car here, but I'd love for my driver to qualify anywhere inside the top 5 or 6 at the time the car is just a little too free. That made me feel good going into the race, although Allgaier is trending in the green all the way down the backstretch. Let's see if he can repeat in 3 and 4. Tough corner entry over those bumps. You see that left front turning back and forth. Can he get the power down?
Oh, he slipped right there.
Yeah.
So close. Late entry of 4, lost him just a little bit of time, and that puts him 2nd quickest.
He proves you can get there, though. He was close.
Something happened. Jeff may be right. Maybe that cloud cover cooled the track down. Now everybody's kind of benefited from it. Even though it's sunny again, there's been a shift in this track. Some pace has improved in it. I know we got good cars going now. But, I mean, when it comes to New Hampshire, if Jeff Burton says it, I believe it.
I didn't believe you, Rick, but Jeff said it. I'm with him.
I was the one. I can't even believe he's giving credit to Jeff Burton on this one.
Have you won here? We're going to get this to Jeff.
Not 4 times in the Cup Series like my man Jeff Burton. Austin Hill, most recent winner in the Xfinity Series, now on the clock. And he's going to be about 0.4 of a second off.
Dale, you said something last week that really, really struck me about this young man and how you thought he matched RCR. And Richard, you couldn't be more right. Like their personalities, it seems like a perfect match.
How about Josh Berry? Does he have a shot at this?
If I had to take him or Hemrick, it's a coin flip. Josh Berry is so skilled. Watch how smooth he is on this wheel.
1/10 of a second faster right now. 0.2 of a second faster.
You can hear the car bottoming out just a little bit.
Oh, into the wall maybe a little there.
Yep. Cost him 1/10. He's going to need that back down here.
Look how low he runs on the racetrack.
Losing a lot of time. Didn't quite get back in the gas like he hoped.
Little bobble. 2/10. Close.
So smooth. So smooth.
Josh Berry is going to win the pole.
Steve, he just hit the wall. You see he was smooth.
But listen to his pedal, his throttle. Like, my man is smooth. My man is smooth on the pedals.
Smooth, and look at how he smoothly brushes up against the wall there.
That's not smooth, Steve.
Well, not on corner exit. I can't help it.
How about turn 4?
Hey, look at this, Steve.
He thought, well, it worked on 2. I might try it on 4.
I'll take that smooth any day.
First career pole for Josh Berry.
Oh, wow.
Spent some time with him this week, and actually during our conversation with series director Wayne Otten, Josh was there. And I said, well, Josh would really love to win the pole. And Wayne said, well, make sure he goes faster than everybody else. He just did.
Well, they'll hope that they don't have to do any body modifications after that contact with the wall. Looks like that rear tail piece has been a little bit. And they're probably going to have to do some work to that thing, Jeff.
It looks like Inspector Burton is on the case.
Yeah, guys, it's, it doesn't look like the right rear quarter panel has moved over a lot until you look at the rear bumper. And you see the rear bumper is bulged out. Right there,
Steve.
Steve.
It in there.
I don't think you're supposed to touch it.
Junior. No. And you can see the deck lids knocked up off of the quarter panel. So I don't know what they're going to have to do. They're going to have a decision to make whether to fix it or not. Might have helped it for all I know. I don't think the right rear quarter panel over is a good thing, but that deck lid up's good. But the right rear quarter panel, Steve, knocked over. I don't know about that.
Now there's a little precedent set. We saw the 9 have a little bit of issue at Road America. I believe NASCAR is going to let them put a little tape on it without losing their spot. Now, if you get the tools out and start moving the sheet metal around, you're going to lose your starting position. But just a little high. I mean, listen, he's going to do this again early in the race. I wouldn't fix that.
All right.
I appreciate the car owner telling me to push that thing in.
You could have tripped into it.
It's all right.
You could have fell into it.
Well, it was fast. We know that.
Pit wall. As I was going back to the garage, I might bang that into the generator car.
It was the fastest car in qualifying, so don't touch it.
It's fine, Josh.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Fix it on the first pit stop.
There you go. That's the owner talking.
Yeah. All guys behind you, just back into him on the pace laps.
Hey, man. That was a fast lap, little contact. But how you feel about it?
Yeah, it felt really good. I just kind of overcommitted off of 2, I guess, and obviously tagged the fence a little bit. But I don't know. We'll look at it and see what we got. Qualifying's been a little bit of a struggle for me, trying to just find the limit a little bit more and push it a little bit too much there, I guess. But all in all, great for these everybody on this Tire Pros team. Done a great job today. I feel like we have a really good car. feel like the long run speed was good in practice. Obviously, we got some qualifying speed too. So I just want to say hi to my wife and my little girl at home watching, and just thank you, Tire Pros, Junior Motorsports, everybody, and it's been a lot of fun.
So we've been talking about how difficult it is to qualify here, especially with only one lap. You got to push hard. Is that part of just overstepping the bounds and getting in the wall there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's probably just a little bit of inexperience, right? Like trying to find the limits. I think that's the hardest part for me. I've have some race experience here, but learning how the track changes in practice and qualifying is something that I've been learning, and trying to make sure that I maximize the capability of the car is something that I've been trying to do better at. And like I said, it's probably sent it a little too hard there. I told the guys I was going to send it and probably pushed it a little bit too hard there.
Well, you are the hero of late model racers all over the country. They're all pulling for you because they believe if you can be here, they can too. You'll be just fine. Good job, man.
And Daniel Hemrick had to watch Josh Berry put that lap down, and I heard you say there was more out there. So what could you have done differently with your lap?
I feel like it's my job to say a lot of things, but in reality, that's the truth. Landon and I were just sitting there talking about, we just didn't expect the capability to be there based off at least what I felt in my AG1 colleague racing Camaro there in practice. So it was a good surprise. Obviously, everyone at colleague racing has been working their tails off, trying to get these race cars as fast as Xfinity as the internet, and we're slowly but surely making progress. But when you're trying to kind of shoot for anything, days and moments like this are a good surprise for you and your race team. So we'll take it. We'll not really sure what the race holds for us, but we'll show up tomorrow ready to battle and see what it's got for us.
You mentioned not really sure what the race has for you. What was your car doing in practice that you were battling? Because we know this is a place you have to get the car turning.
Yeah, you got to get the car turning, and then just as important is when you get up on the straightaway, like you saw even when the 8 there hit the wall and qualifying, you feel like you got all the traction in the world until you cross from one particular aggregate of the ground to the other, and at that point you'll light the rear tires up. So I had a little bit too much of that in practice. Needed the rear tires to hang on a little better. So it is a double-edged sword. You know what you have to move forward. The good thing is a good qualifying effort makes your day, at least the beginning of it, a lot more easy to pace yourself and not have to push too hard and get yourself in position to actually have an idea what your balance is. So look forward to that challenge tomorrow, and good to see this guy here have a good qualifying effort. I know it's been a tough qualifying for both of us all year, so it's good to be standing here with him.
Yeah, we'll get a word with him. Dale Jr. was very complimentary of you. Yeah, we'll let Hemrick go on his way. Second front row start for Daniel Hemrick of the season, but Dale Jr. was very complimentary of what you can do in these qualifying shows. What is it about putting that fast lap down that just jives with you?
Thank you, Dale. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I really like the one-lap qualifying. I feel like there's a lot of pressure there. You have to get it right the first time. That's your only chance. So for me, it's just going out and just putting it on the tire and trying to figure out right away what I have.
All right. We will see Landon in tomorrow's race. Start from the 5th position, Jeff.
Well, I interrupted a massive argument about who was buying dinner tonight. I'm not sure who won this argument, but how was your car, Justin?
Our brand fresh agriculture Camaro is pretty good. I didn't expect to run that good in qualifying. I wish I had the cloud that Daniel had. We were just discussing that. I wish I had that cloud, but obviously, I need to maybe talk to my other teammate in Josh Berry and figure out what he did better. I talked to the others before qualifying, and we talked a little bit, but I think he was holding back on me, and he went out there and ran that good lap. But just proud of our team, everybody at Junior Motorsports. It's going to be a long race tomorrow, and I think balance is going to be super important. And we were discussing balance, just how hard this place is to really figure out what the optimum balance is, what line to run, and all of that. So we'll see what happens in the race tomorrow. But so far, a good starting position.
He may have not been holding back on you because he did hit the wall. So that's the whole story. Oh, yeah. But he didn't even know that. So how about you, Trevor? How's your day been?
It's been good, man. Like he said, we were talking about lane choice. Josh Berry looked like he was running Hickory or something, getting around the bottom better than all of us. And that's what's fun about this place. That's why I've always loved it. It's so racy. You got a lot of options, but it leaves a lot of that time at night to think about what you could have done different, especially with one lap like you and I were talking about, Jeff. It's just so hard to go out there in one lap and nail it. And I'm sure even Josh feels like he could have done something different. But overall, it's a good day. We get to go race. And tomorrow, I hope this guy's buying my dinner after the race,
I do have one thing, though. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday, and she's not even here. So I feel like I'm going to have to, tonight I'm going to probably have to do, a virtual birthday party celebration. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we're going to have to do something weird.
Oh, did you know if drivers aren't there for their wife's birthday, they have to buy them a new car? These guys don't know anything. Back to you.
Wow. Well, Ashley, happy birthday. tomorrow. And let's take a look at the starting lineup. Could we have seen Josh Berry get more? He tagged the wall coming out of 2. I don't know if there was much more there, but Daniel Hemrick, those two will start on the front row.
Well, I just love, when you look at these front 4 rows, it's going to be a shootout tomorrow. Junior Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, and let's throw Colleague right in there, right? We have Hemrick and Castle and Allmendinger all up in the front 4 rows. So I think those 3 organizations are going to have quite the heavyweight battle.
And there you see William Byron in the 88 car back here in 10th place. Ryan Sieg with a great effort in that 39. Good to see him up there. Brett Moffitt. Austin Hill, row 8.
Yep, won the last race. Coming off of that one from Atlanta. As we look a little bit further back, Ty Dillon will start in row 9.
Amazing job by Kyle Weatherman. One of the, I think, most underrated drivers in this series. Row 10.
Derek Griffith, the New Hampshire native, will start in row 11.
Myatt Snyder right there in row 13 next to Joe Graff Jr. Alex LeBay. It's going to be, this series is deeper than it has been, I believe, in years past. I look at 15, 17, 18 cars that are going to have pretty good pace. It's going to make it hard. If you make a mistake and lose track position, it's not going to be a cakewalk to try to get back towards the front.
One car that did not make the field will be Bobby McCarty, that 47. Did not make the 38 car field. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. On Saturday at 11:30, things get kicked off with the Cup Series practice and qualifying on the NBC Sports app. Then on USA at noon, countdown to green at 2 o'clock, and Xfinity Series racing, 200 laps from right here at the Magic Mile. That kicks off at 2:30. Then on Sunday, countdown to green at 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock is Cup Series racing from right here. And again, on Peacock at 3 o'clock, NTT IndyCar racing from Toronto. So a busy weekend from right here in Loudon, New Hampshire. All right, guys, did we see something in this qualifying session that will affect Cup and their practice and qualifying that will be tomorrow?
That's going to be so different with them cars. I think the braking points can't be too different, but the shifting, there'll be a lot of shifting in the Cup car. There's a little bit different grip, so how will that tire react to the seams here? There's so much for all of us to learn tomorrow. I'm going to be glued to watching those cars go around the racetrack.
I think this is the New Hampshire we expected, right? It's flat, very slick, 3 grooves, those paving seams that Dale talked about. But I have to agree with him. The car itself is just so much different that it's going to be who can adapt the quickest. I think what I learned today is just how quick 20 minutes of practice goes. So we'll have groups tomorrow that we split up, and then some split qualifying in the second round to try to make the top 10. So there, it's a little different format, but overall, it's going to go by in a hurry.
What about the bump in 3 for the Cup cars?
Keep airing your left rear tire is what I would suggest, everyone.
Okay.
Left rear tires are going to be a concern. We've seen failures at other tracks. This is a track where lower ride heights will be definitely an advantage. They use that left rear shock stop, and that will damage a tire. So it would not shock me to see a couple flat tires tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm certain that we're going to be paying attention to that, but also trying to understand how does the shifting change the way we see racing here. Guys may be downshifting twice into the corners, and what will that do? Will that provide options for them? We saw it change the way racing appears at other short tracks. What will it affect New Hampshire?
And we'll see if it will help William Byron, who is practice and qualified today in the Xfinity Series, will race on Sunday in the Cup Series. It was Josh Berry's first career pole. He will start up front tomorrow. Coming up now on USA, it's a Whelen Modified Tour from Wall Stadium.